Hello, 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 everyone. Hope everyone had a great weekend and a great trading day today. I'm just recapping Monday, go over the LRC strategy again. Today was another green day. Not as great as I have had. I did not catch some of the big runs afternoon. I had finished trading and had just decided to get away so that I wouldn't overtrade, which is, I've done that before. And I ended up missing some really massive runs today. So, starting out, my very first trade of the day was Microsoft. And I think this is like 3 days in a row that I've taken the very first candle. Honestly, that is not something I normally do. However, it has just been working out and setting up where I am seeing specific stocks and I just take advantage of it, so it works. I was watching Microsoft. It was one of my watches today, and Microsoft went down, wick down at the beginning of the day. And this is what I watch for. It's the 200 and the 20, or the 200 EMA. The 20 EMA is right here. I have the LRC. Let me go over the strategy. This is my LRC line. This is my outer line, or my second deviation, first deviation. My cyan is my mean, first deviation, second deviation. This is a level that I marked off, another level that I marked off, and another level that I marked off for support and resistance levels. So watching this in the beginning of the day, as soon as the market started, I saw it wick down, or it moved down kind of aggressively right away, right off the start, and then it just started pushing up. And I had told the group, "Hey, I'm looking at Microsoft. I'm going to hop in this, and I'm going to get in if it gets over the 220." As soon as it crossed over, I I got in with 6 contracts. I sold all the way up here somewhere. Like, this thing just ran straight up. So I ended up selling. It came down. It came back down. It opened here. It came down. I bought back in. I think it was this candle. Um, I think I bought back in on the second candle, or actually it may have been the third candle. I think it was like 934. So it came back down. It opened here. It moved down. It pushed back up, and then it ended up moving all the way to here and close. So interestingly enough, when it came down and wicked back up in this body, you can't see how that worked, but if you go to on demand, you'll see how it happened. I added 6 more contracts. When it pushed back up here and hit the LRC line, this is my long-term LRC. It literally, I took profit once again, so that was a banger of a trade. I was really done for the day. Great trade. I shouldn't have traded again. I did my next trade. I did take a loss, and I took a loss on Qs. So I played Qs to the downside, and I'll show you where I missed a lot of great trades, and I want to just show you how to look for, how to trade, how to manage the trade. I'll give you all that information. Um, and so for me, I had this move right here today, closed down below my LRC, below my 200, my 20 and my 200. It actually went below and closed below the 479 level. At this point, I, you know what? I think, nope, I didn't take it there. I took it here. My apologies. That's when I was in the other one. So I came here. I watched this come down. It closed. This pushed up. This one closed. This is where it got me. So I waited for a close, and it looked like we were going to get continuation. So I entered right here on this candle. When I did, I entered, I think I had 6 contracts. I did take a couple off on the push down, but not, only like 2, I think. Well, I told everyone that if it gets back above the 479 and closes, I'm going to get out. Well, that's what happened, and it did. That was a pretty nasty candle. So I ended up ended up being down. I can't remember the amount, but it was a pretty good amount. I think I ended up losing like 300 on this trade, 300 and like 20, 330. But that didn't matter. I was already up really good on my very first trade of the day, and I did take a couple scalp trades throughout the day and a couple other really good trades that I did really well. Um, Interestingly enough, though, I can just show you where some of the best trades were, and I'll explain the shakeouts and how this strategy works. So this would be a trade right here. Normally would be a trade. You're breaking above the 20, the 200, and you close above the LRC and the 200. Then you take this next trade right here. You ride it up. I scale out at the LRC lines always. I then would have held. I may have scaled out on this big push down because I can see it's starting to weaken. The upside's weakening. Um, Normally, what I want to do is get out on the second close of the 20 EMA. And as you can see, this would have been a loss on this trade. And that happens sometimes, right? So if you had got in this trade and didn't get out on these several candles down, because I would be looking for a pullback. Most likely I would have got out on this one and not waited for the second close just for this big move down. So I would have helped myself a little, but still may have been at a loss. Even taking profit up here, this may have put me in a loss. But the next thing you would look for, again, you would have the same scenario happening here. You get in here, trade up, scale out, come down and close, hold, 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 and get out again. So possible second loss, but very minimal because you're literally getting in right at where you're exiting. That's what makes this strategy so good. Um, don't worry about it. That's just part of as part of trading. You're not everything's going to go the way you think it's going to go in the market. But I can tell you, if you just trade this strategy every single day using these rules, you will be successful. I believe you can be. I have been for several weeks now, and I've only had 2 losing days, and both of those days had nothing to do with the LRC strategy. They actually had something to do with me just trading stupidly. In any event, I still had 2 losing days over probably the last 5.5 weeks. I need to go back and add that up so I can keep track of it. I've never had this many winning days in a row and for this long. So anyhow, this was the perfect setup here. You see the LRC right here. You get this wick. If you're watching my cues and you get this wick right here, as soon as this closes above the 20 and the 200, you take this trade right here. You can scale out. You can scale out again. You can hold all the way to your big level, the 480.75 I had marked, or just take all profit right here. What I like to do is I'm trying to make myself hold even with the pullbacks, and I do a pretty good job of this. And if you're in the Discord, you'll hear me say, hey, I'm adding if this pulls back and I get a wick up. Sure enough, I would have definitely scaled out, if not got out of all of my contracts here. I would have then bought back in right here for the upward push, scaling out again on this push, holding some, and then riding the 20 EMA. The more aggressive trade for me, or the more aggressive strategy, is to ride the 20 EMA until you get 2 closes. So this would have went here. That's 1 close, doesn't close below. 1 close, doesn't close. Stay in, stay in, stay in all the way to here. This is your second close in a row. Consecutive 2 closes in a row below the 20 EMA. If I were to stick with that, I would just that is my strategy, but I end up just taking profit and moving on a lot of times, and I definitely beat myself up over letting these go and not catching them every single day. Interestingly enough, this happened to me today with SPX, and it would have been over a $10,000 trade. Guess what I settled for? $90. So I got in right here. We pushed above the 544. I didn't want to trade into the 544, so I waited to see if it would get above it. Once it got above, I took this trade here. I think I got out like right here. I only made $90 because it just kind of kept like not really doing anything, and my profit wasn't going up. So I was like, yeah, okay, I don't want to take a big, because of the way it was acting, a reversal or a fake break above the 544 and just dump on me. So I got out. I bought these two at $5.20 per contract. I had two of them. It was at $54 a contract, like right here. $54 a contract. So again, if I would just use the 20, I have to work on that. I think today I decided I'm going to start going in much larger position size. Take out as much profit as I can, and then just that way I let maybe one or two runners go. That way I still have plenty of profit to keep from going negative on that trade. So anyhow, that's part of what I am working on my own trading. Some days I'm better than others. Some days I'm not. It's just kind of one of those things. I think it's part of the human nature of trading. You really have to get, or I really need to get myself to a point where I can just trust my trade and let it play out. Of course, you don't want to go negative several in a row and then have to battle, with a losing day or trying to make it up, which I don't advise for trying to make them up. Although this strategy does allow that very, very well. Anyhow, this was a great trade. Over the 503, trade up to the 505. Could have held it. It didn't even, I don't even think it stuttered at the 505. It just blew right past it on Meta. Many, many, many amazing trades set up today that I missed midday. So I know that I've had several people asking me, hey, is this good for midday or after, Yeah, absolutely. It's actually, there's times where I probably should wait 10-20 minutes and then wait for an A plus setup and get in. Like this setup right here was awesome for BA. You had your higher high, your higher low, but then you had a lower high, a higher low, and then as soon as you broke above here, you get in. You hold this. Yeah, actually, I would have added, if I got in here, as soon as it's pushed above right there, I would have got in. I would have added to the position with this wick up. That's just how I trade. I would have scaled out at my 174.84. I would have added back in right here. I would have scaled out again on the push because you just never know if you're going to get a reversal off a big level. And then I would have rode this thing up and probably would have got out on one of these two candles. I don't think I would have waited for this big pullback. But again, that's the strategy. So that's where I'm on the fence with my two candle close. I think more times than not it allows me to gain way more, right? However, in this case, just think if I had got in down here, I would have been in plenty of profit. But man, how much would I have given back if I had to wait to here, all the way to here, right? So if I had to wait for it to get to here and then there, and I don't want to put too tight of an EMA. I don't want like a 9 or whatever, or 10 EMA. That's just too tight. You'll get shaken out way, way too much. So I really like this strategy, and I am going to, continue using it. I may vary it, and if anyone has any other ideas, feel free to comment, come into our Discord, join us. We are about to go private though, so that's about to happen here shortly. I just have to work out some getting it set up properly. But anyhow, I hope you guys do come and join and check out the strategy. We trade live every day, and I'm usually in the Discord at least around 8. Sometimes I try to get in a little before, but I do have I have family that I have to um, be a part of, and kids to get off to school and that sort of thing. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Come to Discord and ask. Also, I wanted to throw out, if you are a different time zone than the Eastern time zone, I did have a gentleman ask me today, and I just wanted to, let everyone know that yes, you have to change the times to your time zone. So in the strategy, it's set for 4 a.m. to 9:29 a.m. on Eastern time. So if you're Central, that'll be 3 to 8:29, and so on and so forth. So just you make sure you set up the LRC to work in your time zone. So when the market, when your market opens, a minute before your market opens, and the beginning of your pre-market. That's how you want to anchor the linear regression channel. Anyhow, I hope you guys had a great day today. I did. I ended up with around $700 profit today. Nothing spectacular, but still a great day, even with taking a loss. But tomorrow I look to hopefully do a little bit better and see if I can make myself stay in, and hopefully we don't have a nasty choppy day tomorrow. But anyhow, I will see you guys on the next video, and thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe. Peace.